Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Daily Deuce. I am John Webster here with the Daily Deuce. My sidekick Gary Graves unfortunately is not here today. We hope to have him back next week, but we have a special guest in the studio with us to host. We have the one, the only, the Reverend Dr. Jesse Clay, and the number one sports fan of all Philadelphia teams. Jesse, how you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm so glad to be on the Daily Deuce, and I'm looking forward to a great show.
Great. Before we move on, we'd be remiss if we did give a special shout out to our producer, our main man, our point guard, John Pitt. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, guys. Good to see you, Jesse, John. I'm a little upset. The season seems like it's going quicker than usual. Maybe it's just 'cause I love football, but that's why I love this show. We get to extend the football after the weekend. So let's do it.
Well, one thing I'll say to you, John, the season's going quicker for you, but I just want everybody to know Pitt is no longer, as we said, with the Cowboys. Pitt, you're with the Chicago Bears now, correct?
I'm leaning towards the Bears. Leaning towards.
Oh,
All right, we're going to come back to that later. Okay, John Pitt's leaning towards the Bears. We'll come
leaning.
back to that. But since we just started talking about football, man, let's get into it, Jesse. Let's get
Okay.
into it.
Yeah.
Man, that NFC East. We're going to start off first with the Giants. Man, if you talk about a group of guys that are lucky, man, they pulled out a big win over the Seattle Seahawks, man. What did you think, man?
Well, I always liked the Giants. And I've liked the Giants since they beat the Patriots both in the Super Bowl. Kept us from having kept the Patriots from having a perfect season. But the Giants always kind of brings a strong defense, and you never know what they're going to do. I watched them the week before last as well. It looked like they could have won that game, but it seems as though something always came around to just set them back a little bit, a penalty here and getting sacked there and things of that nature. But, that was a good game. And I'm thinking that the Giants are a tough team to put out, particularly in the division.
Well, you said a lot of true statements there, man. They're a tough team. I still think they put the money in the wrong place. Daniel Jones is not going to take them where they need to go. And they got a tough one coming up this week against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's mad at the world right now. They just lost to the Ravens. They've lost to the New England Patriots. They've lost to Kansas City. I think they're going to take out their upsetness on the Giants on Sunday. With that, go ahead.
Well, I think so as well. The Giants have difficulty putting points up on the board, and I'm telling you, that boy Burrows, he is a tough brother.
He's no joke.
He is no joke. I rank him as one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and he proves it week in, week out. I mean, the record doesn't show it, but I remember the Eagles going 0-4 back there when McNabb was playing, and they came and got into the playoffs and did some damage. So early on, it's the preseason still. The first 4 games are like preseason, right? So I look to see the Barrows really put up some big numbers against the Giants.
We're going to find out, man. Next game we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and that exciting, well, I guess you want to call it exciting game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They started a little late. They had a lightning and inclement weather warning, so they started 90 minutes late. Game went till 12:45 the next morning, and it was a long game, man. And Dallas found a way to pull it out. Dak Prescott found an open man in the end zone whose name was not CeeDee Lamb. Go for it, Jesse. What do you think?
Well, I always like Dak. Only time I don't like Dak is when he's playing the Eagles. Um, I'm thinking that that game, I expected the Cowboys really to come out and try to do some damage. But, Pittsburgh, which is one of my favorite teams, they're from Pennsylvania. They always win. They have not had a winning season since the coach has been there. And, one thing about Pittsburgh, they come to play. So
Yes.
it was a good game. I, I really felt their hearts got ripped out on this particular game. 26 seconds left here. Dallas scoring some points, a touchdown, and man, I don't know what to say. It was their game to win, but Dallas they're sneaky. That guy, he's a good quarterback. He just may be on the wrong team. Oh, did I say that?
I don't think you're by yourself. You said he's sneaky good. Can they
Yeah.
sneak another win this week against Detroit?
It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a tight one. I'm going. I would go with Detroit. Detroit's tough, and they're hungry.
Mhm.
So Cowboys may be a loser, and I have them in the losing column for this week coming up.
Wow, that's going to be interesting. If they Cowboys come out on the short end, what's that make them? 3-3, right? That make them 3-3.
Uh, yeah, I think
Okay.
so. Yeah,
Okay.
that's about where they belong.
Now, don't be mean, Jesse. Don't be mean, man.
I know your son's a Cowboy fan, but
He's a what I call a realistic Cowboy fan.
he is.
He appreciated the win on Sunday night, but Dante knows they got a heck of a road ahead. They got some injuries. They got what's the name? Dexter Lawrence injured right now. Micah Parsons is down right now, and you know
Right.
their running game is it's
Weak.
really not what it could be. Um,
Weak.
it leaves a
It's,
lot to be desired. I'll say that. But
it's all on Dak. It's all on Dak.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, whether he's there next year or with another team, he's going to make somebody one heck of a great quarterback because I think the guy does a really good job. I really do.
Yes. I'm glad he got his money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves to be paid.
Yeah.
Now, how about this team in Washington? They're called the Commanders. Man, they're sitting on top of the NFC East. They're 4-1. They just won this past week against the Cleveland Browns, 34-13. Jesse, what do you think of this steamroller called Washington?
Well, I believe that Washington, at least early on, they're a good team. Um, I believe that the quarterback, they have some material on him, some film on him. And I'm thinking that starting next week, they're going to start taking away those things that he does very well and try to see what things he doesn't do well. And so I'm thinking he's not going to have a great game. He is electric. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball too. And I wonder, about him running the ball, and he's so slight of figure. Um, he, those running quarterbacks, they get hurt. They get hurt. And I'm thinking that he probably is going to be coming up getting hurt in the next few games, probably before he plays the Eagles, I hope.
Well, before we get to your lovable Eagles, I think you make some very good points about Washington. They're playing Baltimore. Baltimore's defense is not what it normally is. Gave up 38 points against Cincinnati last week. But what Baltimore's defense still is, they can still hit the heck out of you. They can
Oh
still
boy.
bust you up. And what I think, what keeps coming to my mind when I think of Baltimore and Washington, I think the year was 2012. Baltimore and Washington played. Washington had a quarterback by the name of Robert Griffin III,
Mm,
built similar to Jaden Daniels. And he got hit on a play that messed his knee up. And we all know he was really never the same again. I
never.
don't want this kid to get hit like that. I really don't. I am concerned because I think the play calling that Cliff Kingsbury is doing is wonderful. I think he's mixing it up. The running game with Robinson and Eckler, it's unbelievable. It's really good. But you got to stop this guy from running so much, man. You got to stop him from running so much. And we'll see what's going to happen, man. It's going to be an interesting game. I go and I'll say Ravens win. I know you're saying Ravens will. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said Ravens win. Please, John, cut that out. I said Commanders win. Commanders will win. I know Jesse's saying the Ravens win, but we're going to see.
Yeah. I don't know why you're saying the Commanders are going to win. Um, because nobody really wants to play Baltimore. Nobody. Um, when they got Derrick Henry set back 7 yards, and you have to tackle him, they're probably saying right now, we need Wheaties and spinach to get this guy down on the ground. And then if they can't, if they are able to get him on the ground, they still have the quarterback who is as shifty and fast as any quarterback in the league, if not more. And the thing is, the passing was really on target last game against Cincinnati. And to tell you the truth, um, Burrows probably could put up 30 points on any defense. So I'm thinking that Commanders are going to be in trouble, real trouble.
I see a high scoring game. Commanders coming out on top in the end. I see a shootout again, a shootout. But
Yeah,
there's one team that did not play this week in the NFC East that we have
yeah,
not talked about yet. They
yeah.
would be the team of the city of brotherly love,
That's
the
right.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah,
Nancy, what do you think about the Eagles so far this season, man? What's going on with them?
they act like they're in the preseason. That's what I'm thinking. Um, Hurts has been throwing the ball to the other team a little too much. Put it on the ground a little too much. Of course, we don't have AJ, Devontae. I guess they'll be back for this game coming up. Thank God. And our defense looks like a little bit like Swiss cheese. I'm hoping that we probably will get in there this week and really do some major damage. The Eagles, when we played Atlanta, that was one of those games, sort of like what Pittsburgh had last week, where it ripped your heart out at the end of the game. And we got to really kind of get our heads back in shape and get ready and get to playing like we know how to play championship football. So we got good coordinators, and there's no reason why we shouldn't go and smack Cleveland around in this game. It should be a score like what the Commanders had last week. We cannot let these guys come alive against us. Come alive next week, not against the Eagles.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If you had Hassan Reddick, would that help you right now?
Well, I think so. since Huff only has, I believe he only has one tackle.
Okay. Okay.
um, Hassan had, as you know, double digit sacks in the last 3 years. And although Hassan's not great against the run, he sure can rush your quarterback.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate that we can't get him back. According to what I've been reading, with uh, the the guidelines, the NFL guidelines, we can't get him back. It's, I believe, a bad move. Pay the man the money and let him do what he does. I know trying to get somebody younger and supposedly just as good, but it has not proven to be so in the first 4 games. So they're thinking about. I'm sure they're thinking about perhaps maybe if in the next couple of games. I think was it the 7th, November
Yes.
7th
It's
is
either the end of October or the first week in November,
yeah.
the trading deadline.
He if he doesn't show up in the next couple of games, he's going to be out of here. He's going to
Any
be out of here.
any
Even go ahead.
any particular lineman you would like to see, defensive lineman you would like to wish for?
Hmm. Well,
Not
you
saying
know,
you'll get them.
the Eagles can't. The Eagles don't want to pay any money. If they were willing to pay money, then they would just go ahead and gave Hassan Reddick
Mhm.
uh, 25 million dollars and call it a day. So they don't want to pay any money. And I don't know exactly who is available right now. And, there's a lot of injuries this year, a lot of injuries.
Yep, it surely
And
is.
I'm not sure exactly who is available. I have not looked at it from that perspective, but one thing for sure, we need somebody.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, I hope this week against Cleveland, your Eagles can bounce back. I hope, I love to see you smiling, Jesse. I know sometimes that frown can be turned upside down with the
Oh
Eagles.
yeah,
So I hope things work out for you, man.
yeah, man. It's a crying shame.
Man, I hear you, man. One other note we'll talk about briefly before we move to baseball. Unfortunately, today we had our first coaching casualty in the NFL. Robert Saleh, who was the head coach of the New York Jets, was fired this morning,
Yeah,
replaced by the interim coach, placed as with an interim coach who was the defensive coordinator, Ulbrich, I think his last name is. What do you think, Jess? Let me just say this real quick before you say it. I never want to see anybody lose their job. I don't care what sport, what vocation somebody's in. Somebody always has a family to take care of. I understand it's part of the game, but I never want to see anybody lose their job. So my
yeah.
hats off to Salah. I know he's going to bounce back. He's one heck of a defensive coordinator. He struggled as a coach with the New York Jets, but we'll see. What you got, Jesse?
Well, we both have lost our jobs, so we both know exactly what we're talking about. However, it's not his fault,
Yeah.
and he didn't rupture his Achilles tendon
Hmm.
um, in the beginning, the first game, and the first third or second, third or fourth play of the game.
Hmm. Hmm.
And this season, he's not the one trying to knock off Russ. Although I like Aaron Rodgers,
Hmm.
but it's too early to be firing a coach. First of all,
Right.
secondly, it was not his fault that they're not winning. Okay,
Hmm.
and it's I believe that the issue is that they too are missing somebody called Hassan Reddick who could make a difference.
Yeah. You
So
think?
it's
You
not his
think?
fault. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
I mean, to and early in the season, Okay.
Yeah.
Now the team has to now rally around another coach. We're going to have different tendencies, different language, maybe. Who
Mhm.
knows exactly what's going to happen, with this guy taking on the head coaching duties. I think personally, it's a bad move. It's a bad move. Now, if it had been week 15 or 13, maybe even 12, and you're not winning, I get it. But this is only week 5. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Nobody's playing really all that good. And they've been saying that because these guys don't play in the preseason, the first few games is preseason. And it is a fact because they look terrible. Penalties, the same penalties week in and week out.
Nobody's really playing good, but there are some teams playing bad. And the Jets are getting ready to go in that category because I always think a firing like this is a sign of panic
It
because
is.
nobody who you really want or whoever you want is not taking the job right now. They're not going to take the job to next season. So, and the players know that. So now
That's
you're
right.
stuck in a situation where you need to get this thing right for the rest of the year, but can you get it right for the rest of the year? They got a game Monday night against Buffalo. We're going to find out.
Ooh, ooh.
Now,
That boy from Buffalo. Mm.
shoot, that's a bad
Man,
man. That's a bad
bad
man.
man. Now, last year they played against the Eagles in Philly.
I
They
remember.
gave us everything we
And
could
then
have,
some.
and then some. That's right. Matter of fact, um, my behind was sore because it was on the edge of the seat the entire game.
Man, I hear you, man. Well, let's move over to Major League Baseball.
Mm,
Exciting times with these playoffs. We'll go through them quickly.
yeah,
Uh, One of the things we have is the New York Yankees. They are 1-1 with the Kansas City Royals and 1-1 going home to play with Kansas City going home to play the Yankees. I'm rooting for Kansas City, Jesse. What you got, man?
I hate the Yankees.
Tell me how you really feel, man. Tell me how you really feel.
I don't like the Yankees. They won too many times in the past. I know they haven't won recently, but still, who cares? um,
I'll go. I guess we both agree. I'll go with Kansas City, just like you going with
that's
Kansas
right.
City.
I'm going Kansas City. Uh,
Detroit and Cleveland, they're tied up 1-1. They're getting ready to go to Detroit. Detroit is everybody's hero. Everybody's in love with them. They got a great pitcher with Turk Schoolbull. Torkelson's playing first base. They got a great team. You're
yeah,
going Kansas. I mean, you're going Detroit. You're going Cleveland.
I'm going Detroit as well.
Okay.
They have been pulling it together. They're strong. It's going to be a tough matchup for Kansas City.
L.A. Dodgers
Mm.
and the San Diego Padres. Tied up 1-1. They play tonight. They're going to San Diego. We got a little controversy going on. Manny Machado allegedly threw a ball into the Dodgers dugout, came a little bit too close to the manager, Dave Roberts. I say allegedly. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I can only go on what I've read. That's why I say it's an allegation.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think the Dodgers find a way to get past San Diego. They always have, and I think they will continue to get past San Diego. I take the Dodgers.
Well, Asani is a bad boy. Um, I'm going with the Padres because I've seen we have been smacking. Well, actually, I should be saying the Dodgers because we've been smacking the Dodgers around. But I think the Padres are probably going to take them. The Padres tough group, tough group.
Tatis, and Manny Machado, they some bad
Yeah,
brothers.
it's some
They
bad
bad.
boys. They gave us all we can handle. We were glad they left town.
Now we say the best for last. The Mets and your Philadelphia Phillies. Tied up 1-1 in series right now. The game is going on currently, and the Mets are up 2-0 in the fifth inning. I'm going Mets. What say you, Mr. Jesse Clay?
Yes, sir. I'm afraid. I mean, the Mets are, the Mets came to town. I mean, we were in New York. They smacked us around really, really bad.
Mhm.
So I'm a Philly fan. I'm concerned about the Phillies because the one thing that gets on my nerves about these Phillies is that they're always swinging for the fences.
Would
Dude,
would
how
you be
about just hit
referring
the ball and play?
would you be referring to one Bryce Harper or one Castaños
Fancy
or one what's my man's name? Schwarber? Was that who you
Schwarber, Trey, all of them, all of them. They come up and they're swinging for the fences. And of course, they look good when they're swinging for the fences and they connect and the ball goes outside the fence. But when they don't, and they keep having these outs, near the track, whatever. The problem is that the hitting is not strong. And they had the same problem last year. And they fired the hitting coach. Um, the issue is you got to hit with not only power, but you got to have contact and take the ball wherever it needs to go. I mean, you're supposed to be the man, but you're going down on 5 pitches. Then Barry Bonds went down on 10 pitches, and a lot of times he ended up walking. Come on, man. Stop trying to hit the ball. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna stop here because we talk about the Phillies. Stop swinging when the ball is not only not in the plate area, but is outside, and you got to lean over, and you still miss. Come on,
Wow.
man.
Wow.
So I'm hoping that the Phillies win because it's going to be a mess in Philadelphia if they don't get out of this round. It'll be a mess.
Well, I have Kansas City going against Detroit in the American League. You have Kansas City, and what you got? Cleveland or
Detroit.
okay, we both agree on that.
Mhm.
National League, I have Dodgers, Mets, and you have San Diego Phillies.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do. Go Philly. Go Phillies. Well, we'll see.
Well,
We'll see.
it's going to be interesting, man. We'll see. And after we finish today, I'm probably going to go watch the rest of this one and then watch the Dodgers and the Padres tonight. So we will see what's going on.
Well,
Last but not least,
let me say this real quick.
go ahead. You go
Philly's
ahead.
got to win one of these games to get it back to Philadelphia.
Yes, they
And
do.
getting it back to Philadelphia don't really mean a whole lot. You can still lose in Philly as well. But they got to win one of these to get back there. And so whichever one they want to win, that's fine with me. But they better not go down 3-1.
Well, it will be, I think it's best 3 out of 5. So they will be down. If they lose today, it'll be 2-1. So they got a chance.
Yeah,
Um, one of the things I was saying, then we're going to go on to the NBA. One of the things I've noticed with baseball is truly a sport where sometimes a home field advantage is really not a home field advantage.
yeah.
So, maybe the Phillies can get one here on the road against the Mets. We'll see. Citibank was rocking when I was watching this afternoon, so we'll see how that goes, man. We'll see.
You know it. You know it.
Now, the sport I know you dearly love, man,
Hmm.
the NBA. They
Yeah.
start up preseason. Everything is open. I know, again, Philadelphia, you're a 76ers fan. Go ahead, Jesse, tell me how they're going to win the championship, man. Let me hear about
Well, they do have the horses to win it this year.
it. Okay.
Have the horses to win it this year. However, they got to come together. Some of these teams that they have a lot of their players from last year, and so they know how to play together. And I've been on teams where on paper we should have won, but we ran across these guys that were 6 feet tall, five of them, and they played together for 5 years, and they kicked our butts. And so we have to, be a little concerned about them gelling. And hopefully they can gel very quickly. I know last night they were on TV. They killed this team by 50 points or so, but that they're not even an NBA team. So the man is always Joel. He is the man. Maxi, he is another man. He's a beast as well. We're looking forward to seeing the rest of the group come together, including what's his name? The one from the Clippers. Can't think of his name right now. Good gracious! But anyway, they got a collection of fantastic ball players. I believe that they're going to make it to the playoffs. They better. I believe that they're probably a number 2 seed, possibly a 1 seed. Depends on what happens between New York and Boston. I don't think Boston is really all that strong, although they do have a couple of those players that we wish we could have gotten. If we could have gotten Holiday, that would have been great. But I really think the world of Holiday. He was a Sixer. He's a beast. He knows how to play ball. He knows how to play when you need to play. But I'm thinking that Sixers probably will get at least to the Eastern Conference Finals.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen in the West?
Whoa. Now in the West, I'm going with the Thunder.
Really?
Yes, the
Okay.
Thunder. The Thunders they're a beast. Man, they got players going to bed. I don't know about, they have a lot, the Mavericks, they're going to be tough. We'll have to see how they mesh. Denver, they got Jokic, and but I don't think he got enough team with him. Even with Russell Westbrook, I always love Russell Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
He just can't shoot, but he is a man among men in my book.
He's instant energy, man. He does everything on the court.
Oh man.
Everything.
But they go about 10 deep over there in the West. They got to fight every night. They're gonna be knocking each other down. I'm glad we only had to play them twice. Each one of them twice, but man, boy, oh boy. But I'm going with the Thunder because they got it. They have it, man.
So you think they're going to take it a step further this year than last year? They got knocked out by Dallas last year. You think they'll go a step further this year?
Yeah, well, I think they'll go. They're going to be coming out of the West as a number 1 seed, I believe. No lower than the 2.
Okay.
And I think that they will probably represent the Western Conference.
So OKC in the West is early prediction for you to play in the finals. Who's the early prediction for you in the East that's going to play in the finals?
Well, I would like to say the Sixers.
Okay.
I would like to
All
say
right.
the Sixers. That'd be my first.
Mhm.
I think Boston is still, they tough. They're
Do you
tough.
think with the Knicks, do you think Karl Anthony Towns is going to make a big difference for them this year?
Karl Anthony Towns comes with a lot of baggage,
Okay.
and he has been a selfish player.
Okay. Okay.
So he's going to have to change his game. Now he's talking a good game. I was listening to him very intently. He talked a good game. However, I believe that the Knicks, they got rid of DiVincenzo. I know I chopped his name up. He is one of the key players. I'm sorry. You should not have got rid of him. You should have kept him.
Okay.
So it's going to be, I don't think they're going to be able to do what they did last year. Yeah.
Okay.
Not the Knicks. They probably going to be third or fourth seed, but they're not going to be able to go as far as they did. That boy was in there. Him and Hart.
Tough. Yeah. Well, Jesse, man,
Yes, sir.
you done brought it strong again, man. I appreciate it. I don't know where the time goes. It's flying by. We done finished another show. Thank you so much for being a part of the Daily Deuce today. Your insight is always keen and on point. I just absolutely positively enjoy talking to you about sports, as well as everything I enjoy talking to you about, but especially sports because I love my sports. Everybody, thank you for joining us and watching the Daily Deuce today. If you have an opportunity, watch us on Facebook, watch us on YouTube. Also, please hit that subscribe button. We need more subscribers. Always want subscribers. And also this week, watch some sports, watch some football, watch some basketball, watch some baseball. But above all else, watch some sports, and we're going to see you again real soon. Take care.